What's going on, guys? It is Christmas Eve here. The video will be out after that, obviously, but we've got some new updates. I've had to film this video 3 times. Things keep changing. Manufacturing issues. First, I want to thank everybody that's bought a kit so far, and yeah, it's really neat getting to see what all y'all are building. So we've got some new stuff, and the website should be open now. The time this is out. There's a lot of changes, so I still have some of the old kits that are the black SLS print. I have some of the base kits that have just the servo mount in the front that are still the black SLS stuff. They have been reduced a little bit. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just we've switched materials, and yeah, we've gone to multi-jet fusion MJF printing. We're having a lot of issues with the last couple batches of the SLS prints. None of the products in the store, they've all been gone through and checked, so everything in there is good. I only had very few that actually got out before I realized I had a problem with them out of the last batch. So, I'm still actually owed some bodies from the manufacturer that will be SLS black, but even the bodies now are going to be raw multi-jet. It's still nylon 12, it's still heat resistant, still durable. It actually is I don't know the ins and outs of all the printing stuff, but the MJF stuff seems even stiffer, more solid than the SLS prints have been. And yeah, so we went everything with that, bodies and all. Did away with the dyeing because I think something happened with the last batch and they were dyeing the parts black, and it was hiding some issues that weren't easily to see. So going with raw print makes it easier for me to go through when I get them. I spend an entire day going through all 50 of these cabs and all of the parts. I've had some defects. I've pulled them out. I will be listing a handful of defective cabs just at a slight discount. Not the ones that are cracking and breaking. Those I'm still fighting with the manufacturer to get something done with. But they have apparently taken the month off for Christmas, so it's been a slow go. There's a lot of issues with that. So they also messed up this order. I had another order in. We've got the new Super Short, which is the red one in the back. It has a different grill setup and different rails. So I'm hoping to have those on the site here soon. I'm waiting on the rails. I didn't have any yet because those were supposed to be in the next order, and they somehow sent me 32 of these grills with this order and only 18 of these. It was supposed to all be 50 of the original kits. So lots and lots of mistakes happening everywhere. We're just rolling with the punches, doing what we can. So when I talk about MJF, the stuff is all raw gray. This stuff does have some powder on it still. Some cabs look different. Some of them are nice and gray. Some of them you can see the marks from the inside showing through. I believe, no, that one still looks good. Some of them are black on the inside. Just a lot of variety in it. I do recommend, if you go to paint this stuff, to get the dust off of it. But for the most part, everything's clean. But there's some areas like our motor plates, the bearing, they fit a little bit tighter now. I've got one here. I did this in another video. I'll probably put a clip in here. It has to be pressed in now. And I've had a couple I've actually had to file a little bit just to remove some excess powder buildup in there. That one actually has a fair bit of powder in it. But it's just like a real engine. The tolerances are pretty tight now. And same thing with these servos. Sometimes the servo mount on the traditional grill is a little bit more snug. So you might have to file the top edge to get the servo in. This one actually fit perfect. So that's just on the original kits. The servo mount on the Super Short and this are a different style. So your servo can bolt in whichever way. So let me see, I'm running off the rails here trying to cover everything. We got time. We don't have to make this a 2-minute video. So the Super Short kit, you can see in here, let me zoom in. So you can see in here, there's a little bit of powder built up. That stuff will scrape out with a flathead screwdriver. And it doesn't hurt anything. If you paint over it, the paint will probably flake off, which if you're doing a patina stuff, that might be a cool effect. You layer your paints. I haven't got to paint any of these parts yet. The finish is still the same. Still has a light texture, just like the SLS parts did. It's just not black to start with. You know, my patina process and all these videos in this playlist are kind of based off of starting with black. So I would still recommend painting everything black and then doing your primer over that, or using a black primer. It's still just about layering paints, and that's part of the fun part for y'all to paint and weather as you see fit. All the other parts are still the same. It still says RCeveryday on those pieces, and the front of this grill is a little bit different. It says RCeveryday like that, because the servo goes on the inside of the super short. And you can put it however you want. These are going to be a little bit trickier to link your steering linkage, but it's designed to get everything nice and close, nice and tight, and get that shorter wheelbase that a lot of people have been asking for. Try to get you in here and show this. I've got a build series on this one that I haven't finished yet. It'll go into more detail about mounting the servo on this new grill. Turn it around so you can see the linkage. I did mine on the passenger side. You see there? Yeah. So this requires a little bit more modification. I had to bend the rod to fit the way I needed to with the orientation of the spindles on the axle. And I also had to clearance the front of the motor. The front end of the motor, I had to take half of the timing cover off. And this is the SSD scale engine, this one that the kits are kind of based around. And yeah, just had to kind of clear out some space down there. Use the, is that a reef servo horn? I think that's the long reef servo horn. So if you go with the short one, you can feel a little bit more of your engine. It's still got the water pump on it. There's still plenty of room for that. Just, yeah, something to look out for. And it's up to you still what engine you use. There's a lot of different 3D printed things out there. So the super short is going to be a little more of a challenge with the steering. And left a little bit more on the table for you guys to figure out. We kind of did a poll in the Facebook group for the kits. And that seemed to be the general consensus, is most people like the tinkering part of it, like that aspect of making things work for yourself. And that's, you know, that's kind of what I've built this whole channel on doing, is making things for myself. So I totally get that. I respect that. And that's why we've left this like it is. And I always say we, like there's anybody else. I got a mouse in my pocket. So just to recap, the super short kits will be out in the next week or so. Luckily, the place that manufactures my chassis rails is very quick. They actually got them cut in one day. I ordered it late one night, and they were in final inspection the day after. So I wish the 3D printing company could work that fast. But the super short kits, I call them SS kits, but I won't put it on the website because I don't want to get sued by General Motors. They will be a little bit later to the website because I'm waiting on the rails. And yeah, still working on the video on that, showing the process, the differences and everything. The base kits with this are live, and I have, like I said, 2 versions of it. I figure the others will sell out because I marked them down a few bucks. Just, you know, I'm trying to consolidate inventory. I don't want to have 2 different boxes of stuff, and I don't want to sell with this picture and then you get stuff that's black and SLS printed. Just, you know, it's just keeping it honest. And yeah, regular kits are limited right now. I think I've got, between both variants, maybe 30 or so in stock, and I've got 50 cabs like this. So I've got a good mix of things. This is the most inventory I've ever had in the store at one time, and I would like to get rid of it all. So check it out, RCeveryday.com. Check the playlist that this video is in, and it's got the full build. The build assembly is going to be the same as the original video with the original chassis kit. The hardware sizes are all going to be the same, pretty much M3x6 gets you everything attached to the chassis rail. And trying to think if there's anything else other than the tolerances being a little bit tighter for our motor plate ball bearing to go with the R4 transmission. That's the whole gear assembly out of it. Just little things like that to look for. Just might need a little filing, might need a little bit of sanding in here for your servo. Yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Stay tuned. I will have a super short chassis build video thing added to the playlist here in the next week or so. And yeah, feel free to hit me up with any questions, and check out RCeveryday.com. Get out there and do something fun with the hobby, guys. Keep it scale, and I'll see you next time.